April is Earth Month. If there is one thing I've learned, it's that quality is sustainability. Think about it. When you invest in well-made, durable products, you're not just buying something that lasts longer. You're keeping waste out of landfills and reducing the need for constant replacements. That's exactly why I love Avocado Green Mattress. Avocado mattresses are crafted with the highest quality certified organic materials and expert craftsmanship. They're also climate neutral certified, meaning every purchase helps reduce carbon emissions and supports a healthier planet. Avocado mattresses offer easy financing options with Affirm, sleep trials up to 1 year, and generous warranties for your peace of mind. The best part is that you can try before you buy. You can visit one of their retail stores or premier retail partners to experience the comfort firsthand. Head to avocadomattress.com today and save up to 10% on certified organic mattresses. Dream of better for you and the planet. I know firsthand how much stress can mess with your hormones. Between work, life, and everything else, it's easy to feel completely out of balance. That's where Happy Mammoth comes in. They offer a free 2-minute quiz that can help you uncover the root cause of your hormonal symptoms. It's super easy. Just answer a few questions about what you're going through and where you're at in life. You'll get a personalized recommendation to help balance your hormones and start feeling better. When I took the quiz, it suggested that my body may be overloaded with hormone estrogen and may be struggling to metabolize it. By taking Hormone Harmony, it could help with bloating, anxiety, fatigue, overwhelm, and so much more. With over 40,000 5-star reviews and a bottle selling every 24 seconds, the results speak for themselves. So if you're ready to start feeling like yourself again, head over to happymammoth.com and take their free 2-minute hormone quiz today to find the ultimate answers to your stubborn hormonal issues. And for a limited time, you could also get 15% off your entire first order with our code DATEABLE at checkout. That's happymammoth.com and use the code DATEABLE for 15% off today.
Hi, I'm Yue Xu.
And I'm Julie Kraftchick.
We're active daters turned dating insiders.
Here to dive into everything modern dating and relationships.
Welcome to DATEABLE. Welcome back, everyone. We're going to answer some of your burning dating questions, or just burning questions, because you're so hot, you're burning.
You're so hot. Do you know the song, You're So Hot, You're Hurting My Feelings? Have you ever heard that?
Who sings that?
Her name is Caroline Polachek. No. It's very catchy. I'll play it for you next time.
You're not going to sing it for us?
No, it won't sound like the song if I sing it.
Bypass any copyright, on YouTube.
I was going to say, it will not help you identify the song if I sing it.
How does it go? What are the lyrics?
It's like, you're so hot, you're hurting my feelings.
You're so hot, you're hurting my feelings. Oh, my. I
feel like that's a good pickup line for someone. You are so hot, you're hurting my feelings.
So therefore, I'm going to leave. Therefore, bye.
Her lyrics are very, very interesting. And I'm always like, what are these people on when they're like writing this? Like, she's another song that's like, Bunny is a rider. I'm like, where does this come from?
What drugs are they on? And how can I get my hands
the creative
on them?
juices flowing? We did want to talk about the White Lotus because everyone's watching White Lotus right now.
And if you're not, you should.
You should be.
Julie was like, you're not watching White Lotus. You got to catch up. So I did catch up.
I was in shock when Yue told me. It's like right before season 3 aired. You were like, oh, I've never seen it. And I'm like, what?
I know.
I feel like I'm so hooked. Like, okay, this last Sunday, we got Thai food as we watched. So it felt like we were in Thailand.
Oh, I know. Seriously. That's what we were doing too. We're like, in honor of White Lotus, we're going to get Thai food. It's just like, I love HBO strategy of releasing them on a weekly basis.
Yeah.
So it feels like an event and you can't binge on it.
I have been like deep into the Reddit boards and I'm like, I really need to find a better use of time at night.
Well, at least you're not listening to the podcast, the official podcast.
I haven't. Maybe I will after. We'll see. We'll see. But we did want to talk about it relative to our dating archetypes, not just shoot the shit about White Lotus, although we probably would love to do that. And we do that on our own. But we were thinking about like, okay, for anyone new here, we've created these dating archetypes. You can take the quiz at dateablepodcast.com or howtobedateable.com is our book. Both places you can access the quiz very easily. And we created this quiz while we were writing our book, How to Be Dateable, because we were thinking like in the last 10 years that we've been doing the podcast, we've encountered so many different types of daters. Well, five. Five is what we decided. 5 archetypes that we have nailed down, and they all have a different way of approaching dating, thinking about dating, their mindset, their behaviors, all of that. And what comes with that are superpowers, what makes them amazing people to date and eventually be in relationships with, and also some things that might be holding them back that maybe aren't the kind of attributes that are helping them out.
Yeah. And there's no good or bad archetypes. They just describe us more holistically. We all have superpowers, and then we all have sides that we can pay more attention to or to recognize them and name them and know that sometimes they may be getting in our way of love.
Yeah. So we thought it might be fun to diagnose the White Lotus cast and see what they are, what archetypes are prevalent for them. I think the one for me that comes up as like the most obvious is Chelsea. She is like dreamer through and through.
She's so cute.
She is. But she's like wants to save Rick. Like she's like, I'm with him because I'm going to heal him. Mm-hmm. I think she's the prime. Okay, for anyone that's unfamiliar with the dreamer archetype, this is the person that, has so much love to give. They make an incredible partner. They often, though, put others ahead of themselves. They give people tons of chances. They wear their heart on their sleeve, but maybe aren't discerning of who they give their love to. And I think Rick is like prime, avoidant target that like is not giving her anything back, yet she's just so fiercely loyal to him and thinks that he is her soulmate. She used soulmate in itself is a dreamer tendency word.
Right, yeah. And he is so crappy to her. If some guy got high and released snakes and then a snake bit me, I'd be like, bye. I'm out of this relationship.
Or left you in the middle of your trip that you took together. Just pieced out.
And won't answer his phone while he's partying in Bangkok. I mean, let's think about that. But she is it's what makes her so endearing is that she doesn't see these as bad qualities. She sees them as, Rick needs my help. He's a project. I can nurse him back to health. But in the end, she is robbing herself of a lot of the love and experiences that she really deserves as such a wonderful, loving person.
This one hits me hard because I had wounded bird syndrome for a long time. Mm-hmm. And I would do this and I'd funnel so much love into people that really did not give it back to me in a way that was like, I guess real in a way, or it wasn't maybe as one-sided. I feel like this kills me because I'm like, you would make such an incredible partner to someone. And if you had someone that was like willing to meet you at that level, like things would be great for you. But it's always like this chase and game to her because she can't seem to like ever fully lock him down.
And what sucks about her as a dreamer is that her trying to change Rick or trying to save him is robbing her time with her friends and family who actually deserves her attention. So what she's actually doing is doing herself and the people around her a disservice because she's spending all her energy on the wrong freaking person.
I mean, I don't know if like Chloe and the people, like the brothers are her friends. It almost like, I can't even imagine going on vacation and your partner just leaving you to be with these randoms. But okay, she has at least some people to hang out with, but she's not present there. She's not happy to be going to the full moon party. She's checking her phone. She's thinking about him. Mm-hmm. How many of us have been there before? It is not a fun place to be.
It's not a fun place, but we love her because why we love dreamers, why anybody loves a dreamer, why Rick loves her is because she is so caring and she is so there for her partner and she is so loyal, almost to a fault, that you feel very well taken care of when you're around her.
So Rick, I mean, he's clearly like avoidant and not willing to like
Right?
put himself out there. I don't think avoidant necessarily equals maverick, but I do think he's not willing to fully let her in, which is a bit of a maverick tendency. What archetype do you think he falls into?
To me, he is a typical thinker where he ruminates on these ideas. So this whole thing, he's very focused on the murder of his father. And he's so focused on this idea that he has to get it resolved or at least have all the information. And that's what he keeps thinking about. But what sucks in this situation is that he is putting the energy on something that doesn't involve his actual partner. And also I find that with a lot of thinkers, there is a tendency to hold resentment because you are ruminating on stuff that's happened in the past.
Yeah, I could definitely see him having thinker maverick tendencies. I definitely see some. I mean, it's kind of hard because it's the TV show. He's like clearly like going to kill his or like the guy he thinks like screwed over his dad.
But he also didn't. Spoiler if you haven't seen the latest episode.
Hopefully people are caught up by now.
Sorry, don't yell at us. Don't yell at us. He really had to think about it.
He did. But I feel like with her, he's not really like she had to really push him to be vulnerable.
Yeah.
And he got there. He definitely got there. I think maybe his redemption arc can be showing more of that vulnerability. That's at least my hope. We'll see what happens. I hope he comes back and realizes what a good partner he has. And he does approach this more with a we attitude opposed to this like, I'm just going to do my own thing and like let you fend for yourself and, not be part of my decisions at all.
He's such a typical type of person that attracts a dreamer because for the dreamer, he gives them these moments of sincerity and love, and it's not constant. It's a variable behavior. So for her, every time he does show some love to her, she's like, oh my God, he loves me. Or, oh my God, he's great. Oh my God, his walls are breaking down. She thinks it's progress. For him, he's very stingy with what he's giving to her.
And for anyone that is unfamiliar with the archetypes, again, you can go to howtobedateable.com, take the quiz, you'll get the full explanation. But the maverick archetype is this highly self-sufficient, independent. They bring a lot of confidence and, they bring so much of themselves to a relationship, but sometimes it is a struggle to let that other person in and be vulnerable, which is what Rick is showing. And then with the thinker, self-explanatory, they tend to be great problem solvers, partners, reliable, although Rick isn't really reliable.
No.
But the ideal thinker is. But then where the downfall might be is a state of analysis paralysis, always like overthinking and underdoing, all of this that kind of gets in their way.
And therefore no action taken when he met the guy.
Yeah, that's true.
It was a lot of buildup for nothing, in my opinion.
We'll see. I'm very curious what's going to happen out of that one. Okay, moving on. Let's move on to maybe Chloe and
Chloe.
Then the brothers. Okay.
Oh, she's an interesting one. She's an interesting one. Well, I mean, she's so surface with a lot of this because I think it comes from her need for validation. So we talk about the validation trap in our book, but she is like through and through, just need the validation. Her description of how young men are when they see her naked. Like, remember? Oh she's like, I can see their heart beating because they're so excited to be with a woman. It's just so much shows you how much she needs that attention and validation. But in terms of her energy, I think she is very much an energizer.
Yes.
And an energizer is someone who has like the title, like the description is, they have a lot of energy and they like to be around a lot of people. Maybe they book back-to-back dates and they always need to be on dates and they are full of life and charisma, so people love being around them. They probably love parties, especially yacht parties. And they just really get into the groove of being surrounded by people. But what may be holding an energizer back, like Chloe's situation, is there's a lack of depth in her relationships.
Yeah. And also just the go, go, go lifestyle. I mean, she definitely does not want to sacrifice her lifestyle. That is very clear. And, she's always trying to see who's next, even though she has Greg, but she's like looking for the next
Yes.
people too. And yeah, I 100% agree. Energizer through and through. Yeah. Like I'm really curious if she will ever slow down and be like, what do I want? Because it feels like she's just kind of on a ride.
Yeah. Right. And she said something in one of the episodes where, I think Chelsea was like, why don't you leave Greg? And she said, but I don't want to start over. I think that is very much an Energizer tendency. Is like, I've spent all this time meeting people and booking these back-to-back dates. I can't start over. I put in all this work.
She might have a little achiever in her too.
Yeah. Yeah,
I could see that. An achiever, is the person that wants to keep progressing, moving things along, get to the goal. Like her goal could be a financial gain too. Like she definitely has both.
Yeah. But who is more of an achiever? Ms. Laurie from the trio.
Okay. Yep.
She is such an achiever. Her life is defined by milestones. So an achiever, their superpower is that they have a very clear plan for life. And this is not someone who's wishy-washy. They live life with conviction. They're very ambitious. But what may be holding them back is that they get stuck on the milestones and checking things off and less about being present in the moment of the connection.
Yes, I agree with you. And we actually put up on Instagram the trio of the ladies of what we thought their archetypes were. And people agreed through and through that she was an achiever. The other one that people agreed with was Jaclyn as a maverick, as she is, Miss Independent, all about me. Again, the maverick, there's so many great qualities that come with independence. But maybe the part that's a little challenging for mavericks is when there's this self-centeredness that kind of comes in and this inability to let others into their space. It's the Jaclyn show. No one can deny that this is all about her. She's not really thinking about others. She's not thinking about how her actions affect them. Even her husband, she's not thinking about that.
Nope.
We'll see. We'll see what happens with that. But clearly not the friends, nothing. And it's all about like, how do I feel the best? How do I feel the most confident? How do I feel young again?
Yeah. There's a level of protection that manifests into not so great behavior. So her husband doesn't return her phone calls, can't get a hold of him. And in turn, instead of her being worried about him, her first thought is, well, I'm going to go get some action because I'm going to protect the hurt I'm feeling right now and do something equally as bad when who knows what the husband's doing anyway.
That is a very typical maverick way. And like we talk about in the book, playing relationship chicken, trying to be that cool girl, trying to be the person that, is unbothered by it. And I'm just going to play games and, one up the person and it's me versus you mentality. This again is the demise of the maverick if they don't get a hold of it and get ahead of it and realize like, okay, there's a lot of my personality that's really making me someone wonderful to date, but this side is actually not really serving me.
Yeah, it's not good. He's going to find out.
So the one that people are a little mixed on, and I'm actually mixed on this one too, is Kate. And I know we talked about it. You thought dreamer, and I think your logic makes sense, and I want you to share it. But I was thinking about it more. We kind of got like mixed results on people's opinion if they agreed with that. And I almost feel like, I don't know what she is because she kind of molds herself depending on who she's with.
I can kind of see that too. She's probably the one that is the least authentic of the three of them, which is probably why it's hard to pin her down. I can kind of see her being like maybe a thinker too, and that probably makes her be a chameleon in some ways. The dreamer side of her, to me, was the fact that she presents as happy-go-lucky, everything's positive, I care about everybody kind of vibe. But you could also like not be a dreamer, but want to present as a dreamer.
It's true. I really am at a loss of what she is. I continue to be at it. But I guess if you're listening on YouTube or watching on YouTube, if you're listening on Spotify, basically any platform where you can actually leave a comment, I would love to see what people think about her because I'm not quite sure. She's baffling.
But if we're dissecting the trio this way, it feels like we know her the least. which could
Yeah.
also mean that she may bring the most action in the finale episode.
She might.
Because she's unpredictable.
I do want to actually talk about like the whole hooking up with the guy that like your friend has kind of like, I don't know, like the whole thing that's going on with them. Like, is it wrong that she like hooked up with him, even though she was like trying to have her friend hook up with him? I want to get into that question. But before we do, let's take a minute to hear from our sponsors.
For so long, I viewed bras and shapewear as torture devices. Like, who invented them? But I've since changed my mind because I tried Skims. The Fits Everybody collection from Skims is like nothing I've ever tried before. Everything just molds to my body. Almost feels like I'm not wearing anything at all. Now, I've heard all about Skims for so long, and let me tell you, they sure live up to the hype. I've really enjoyed wearing the cheeky bikini underwear. It's like my go-to underwear because honestly, I just can't do thongs anymore. But this is the perfect combination of a no-show and comfy. And I also found the perfect color to match my skin. So the undies don't show through white pants. Yeah, finally. Shop Skims Ultimate Bra Collection and more at skims.com and Skims LA flagship on Sunset Boulevard. After you place your order, be sure to let them know we sent you. Select podcast in the survey and be sure to select our show, Dateable, in the drop-down menu that follows. Vacation season is nearly upon us, and this year I'm treating myself to the luxe upgrades I deserve with Quince's high-quality travel essentials at fair prices, like lightweight European linen styles from $30, with premium luggage options and stylish tote bags to carry it all. And what's music to my ears is that all Quince items are priced 50 to 80% less than similar brands. By partnering directly with top factories, Quince cuts out the cost of the middleman and passes the savings on to us. And Quince only works with factories that use safe, ethical, and responsible manufacturing practices. I love that. Now, for me, I've upgraded my travel outfit with the Quince Ultra Stretch Straight Leg Ponte Pants. They look like put together slacks, but feel like lounge pants. So perfect for long flights. For your next trip, treat yourself to the luxe upgrades you deserve from Quince. Go to quince.com/dateable for 365-day returns, plus free shipping on your order. That's QUINCE.com/dateable to get free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/DATEABLE.
So yeah, let's talk about these last three, the kids, and then we'll knock them off. And then we'll get into this question of like, what is girl code and what is right in terms of having, you know, your friend hook up with someone that maybe you had claims to, if you even did.
Okay, we're going to go over 3 more characters from the show. Got it.
Yes. And then we'll go into that as like a more hypothetical question.
Okay.
Saxton.
Saxton.
He's hard because I think he's having like an enlightenment during this whole time. I would say he's definitely an achiever in work. And I think like at the start of it, he was having achiever moments of like, I want to make sure I hook up with girls and I need to like prove myself that I can do it. But now I'm kind of seeing some like thinker and like maybe questioning of things come into play after his incident that I don't want to talk about.
Yeah. Not appropriate for any platform, really.
I'm still
to talk
scarred.
About.
Yeah.
I know. Yeah. What a shocking revelation. So I'm flip-flopping because we had this conversation yesterday too. I almost feel like he is kind of like a dreamer in some ways because he had this very rosy picture of how his life would be. And it would be follow in his dad's footsteps, probably marry someone like his mom and to have this wife and to have this family and to have all this money. He had the story in his head. And now the story is falling apart, which is why he's falling apart, because that was what he identified with for so long.
I like that. I like that theory. I can see that. And that's probably why he's drawn to Chelsea, fellow dreamer, and why she might be starting to get feelings for him as well.
I know. Because they can both talk about astrology and healing stones. Like, I can totally see them getting into that stuff.
I think he could be a reformed F-boy. Because he definitely started off
Yeah.
as that. And I like really disliked him. But now I'm like, oh, I'm
Yeah.
kind of warming up to him.
His arc is great.
Okay. Lachlan. He's also a
know.
very confused character.
So lost.
I think he's maybe a thinker
Yeah.
because he just doesn't know. Like he changes and he molds depending on what sibling he's with. I mean, I really think that he did the thing he did. Again, I'm not going to mention it because I just can't because he wanted to like please his brother and like be the type of guy. There's a theory on Reddit on that and I'm fully on it of
Really?
like, it's not like done in a sexual way, but more of like his brother's like talking about, you know, sex and hooking up and masturbating. And like he was like almost doing it to like fit in. And then you see him go with his sister, Piper, and he's like the opposite. He's now going to join the monastery. He's like a dating chameleon or maybe a family chameleon. He just like, we use this term in our book around, you know, not really just like being yourself. So it's hard for anyone to truly get to know you when you're just molding to whoever you're with.
Yeah, he's definitely undefined right now. And in all the episodes, you never know who he actually likes, who he actually wants to hang out with. And he's just, in that limbo period. But also just at that age, he's 18?
Yeah.
This is the time to be undefined and to explore, but you get peer pressured very easily.
Yeah. Okay. Last but not least, Piper.
Oh,
she's kind of hard because she's had no romantic interests at all in this. She does have dreamer tendencies and the fact that she like has this life envisioned of joining the monastery and like feeling like she's going to be this changed, enlightened person and all this like good stuff is going to happen in her life. I think she's going to get ahead of herself that way. I'm curious if that would translate to her romantic life. Again, it seems like from Elise Saxton's perspective, she hasn't had much experience either.
No. Yeah, she's a hard one to crack too because she is so young and it's also hard to know. But I kind of get the feeling she may not be sexual at all. And it is her way of rebelling against her family. There was a scene early on in the season where they're doing yoga. I remember that old man like gives her a look and he's all like into her and she's like, eh. I think that was her way of being like, I don't want this kind of life. This is not who I am and I'm going to rebel against it. And you don't hear her talking about love or dating or sex or at all. She's completely put herself out of it. Out of these conversations.
Okay. Right. Well, I'm curious what people think. If you agree with us, if you disagree, we want to hear it. I do want to talk about this question though, because I think this does come up in girl groups. Yeah. And probably with guys too. It's like I don't know, how would you even describe this? Because like Laurie didn't really even claim the guy, but it was like almost like you should hook up with this dude. Yeah. And then the friend sweeps in and does it.
Yeah, because it's not cheating and you haven't done anything wrong, but it is kind of like, it kind of felt like Laurie called dibs on Valentin and Jaclyn. If she didn't think anything was wrong, she wouldn't have snuck him in. So she knew something was wrong, right? She knew that was not good. But yeah, it's a hard one because he didn't hook up with Laurie yet.
Right. Although she could have stuck him in just because she's cheating on her husband, unless they do have an open marriage. We don't know.
True. That's true. But of all the guys she could have chosen from, she chose him.
I think of this story when I was like in my 20s and there was this guy that was like a peripheral group and I mentioned like I kind of like liked him and it wasn't like a serious like or anything, but I was interested and I mentioned it to my friend and then she somehow was like making out with him after and like like basically was like, I don't even like this guy. And it did kind of feel like a little shitty because it's like, yeah, like of course there's no claims to this person. It's not like you did anything wrong in the sense that like it's like my boyfriend and you went after them. I really had no relationship, but it did feel kind of like I can get them and I'm gonna like, I don't know. I don't know how to describe it. Have you ever had a situation like that?
Well, I think on the flip side, because you know the story of our mutual friend has said she had a crush on this guy and I ended up going out with him after meeting him at a party. And I did feel bad about it because she did say she had a crush on him, but nothing had ever happened. And at the same time, I was like, it's kind of unfair because that means I can't have a fair shot with this guy. Like I can't actually explore if there's a connection just simply because someone had verbalized their liking to him. I still felt guilty about going out with him. It was a weird, I didn't want her to find out. She still hasn't found out until this day. So don't say anything, Julie. But I think she would have been really pissed. Like she would get over it. But I think
she would have been really pissed.
She would have been really pissed.
Yeah.
So then I kind of was like, okay, I shouldn't pursue this. But it's also kind of unfair.
It's a very hard situation because, yeah, like with Laurie, I get why Laurie's pissed because they clearly have like a history of her like almost like, I think what it is, it's not about him really. It's about this like one-upping her. And it's like kind of like, oh, you should be with this guy. And then it's like, never mind, I'm going to be with that guy.
Yes. It's Jaclyn's history with her. That's what it is. Yeah.
I want to know what happened with Kate's husband because she alluded that the same thing happened with him.
I know. I know.
We don't know what it is. Yeah.
They're kind of implying Jaclyn wants what other people have. And then that's how she feels validated. And then she wants people to be envious of her.
So in this situation, do you think she owes her an apology? Like, what would you have done if, like, it was hypothetically your situation, but you're at the White Lotus and this is at brunch and she's, like, calling you out?
If there was no history, I don't think an apology is owed because Jaclyn did say you could have also called him. Like, you could have also asked him to stay after, but you didn't. Right. So I did.
Well, that's the other thing, I guess, like in her defense, I don't like her, but I'm giving her a defense here. It's like if you're pushing your friend to do something and then they don't do anything with it.
Sure. Yeah.
This actually happened in my other favorite show, Summer House, where like, you know, there was this guy and like one of the girls was like, oh, you should hook up with him. You should hook up with him to her friend. And then she just like didn't talk to him the whole night. And she's like, well, if you're not going to talk to him, I'm going to talk to him. And then of course the friend got mad because that's what happens.
Mm-hmm.
It's all seems so stupid, but this stuff happens all the time.
I just hope that in my 40s and beyond, I will never need to have conversations like this. This is my hope in life.
I've had a lot of friends get into fights about random ass dudes they never saw again.
No, it's not worth it.
Into their late 30s, early 40s. It's
not worth it.
Because I think what it is it's a personal attack. That's where it becomes, and especially if there's a history of someone doing this. I had two friends get into a huge fight that they didn't talk to each other for a while because of some random dude, but it wasn't really about the dude, you know?
Yeah, and it's never about the dude. Yeah, it's never about the dude because in this situation, who's going to date Valentin? Nobody. Like he's not a viable bachelor. Sorry.
So the question, you know how she was so weird about hooking up with him?
Yeah.
Do you think he also blackmailed her and like asked for money? I 100% think so. And she didn't want to admit it because it like looks bad on her. And it like undermines her whole like, I'm sexy, I'm young, I got the guy if he just wants her money.
Oh, he's still going to blackmail her.
Yeah.
He probably has pictures. He can do a lot with what he did with her.
That was one of my favorite scenes, though, of the whole show. Outside of the Asian girls scene, that was my top favorite scene.
Epic monologue.
And Rick's facial expressions. But the scene when he's like, I have Zelle, Venmo, PayPal.
PayPal?
Like, dude, this guy's not letting up.
Just
like,
wire
he
it.
is really getting the crazy girlfriend, like, saved her.
I love that he had, like, a specific number, too.
Yeah.
Like $10,000.
Can you imagine if you hooked up with some guy on vacation? Like, it was such a great scene because she just finished. And it was like 1 second later, he's asking her for money.
He's like, money? Yeah.
I'd feel so used. So used. And so dumb. I'd feel dumb.
Oh, I would be so pissed. I would be so pissed. Oh, God. No, those are the stupid things that people end up doing on vacation that they regret later.
They are.
Great.
Okay, well, hopefully you catch this before the finale if you're up to date. If you're not and you're like have never seen White Lotus in your life, like maybe you haven't even made it this far.
Oh.
We hope you actually shut it off and you went to go watch right then, and you could always come back later. But if you're just like, who is Rick? Who is Chelsea? What's an Energizer? You have homework. Go take our quiz, go watch White Lotus, and then this will all make sense.
Bookmark this video now and come back to it because it'll be a quiz. At the end.
You'll be like, oh yeah, he is a maverick. It'll all make sense.
Well, first and foremost, take the quiz so you know what dating archetype you are. This is for everybody. If you have not taken it, go to howtobedateable.com, take the quiz for free. You'll know what your archetype is, and then you'll start identifying archetypes in your life, your friends, the people you're dating. It'll be really fun, especially when you watch TV shows like White Lotus.
I love like your partner says to you, like, you're being a little mavericky right now.
He's like, you're so mavericky right now. Do you want to bring down the maverick right now?
It's amazing.
It's a term, mavericky.
It's great. It's great. Okay. Well, thanks for joining us again, and we can't wait to see you next week.
Bye.